I just wanted to update my picks for the week after a very chaotic Thursday and Friday. It was mixed, I hit a four-teamer in the morning game. Should have parlayed the touchdown scores without the Chiefs on the money line. And the Bengals on the spread before kickoff, and Chicago Bears on the spread. So overall, it was a really very small profit, but nonetheless, the risk has been mitigated, and this weekend changes a lot as far as who the NFL would like to keep alive in their respectful playoff races. And I want to start here with the AFC North after the Bengals' victory. Now, for the record, I envision the Bengals keeping things interesting for a week, and then the Ravens end their season 2 weeks from now. So I think Cincinnati does beat Buffalo to keep things very suspenseful for another week. They have 10 days of rest. So that's kind of how I look at the Bengals' outlook, if you were curious about it. Shedeur Mania. Now, suddenly the Browns are 2 games out of first. If Shedeur Sanders in a top 5 defense is 2-0 since the quarterback changed the Browns to upset the 49ers. To keep things interesting for the Cowboys and the Lions. I think the NFL would like the Texans, I think, alive in the playoff field. So let's see. They're 7-5, and it's like if Texans win, then AFC South is interesting. The Colts have a minor hiccup. I do think the 6-0 ends here like Super Bowl 60, the 6-0 record at home. The Texans' defense is something to definitely not overlook, despite the Colts having a fine season. Could it benefit the NFL to have the Panthers in the playoff race? They beat the Green Bay Packers. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. This game is not automatic. I just think that, there's a narrative for the Panthers to move on from Bryce Young, quite frankly. And on the other hand, the Jets are obviously interested in Mendoza. The Saints and the Jets game's going to decide who gets Mendoza from Indiana. And you take a look at Atlanta in the AFC, in the NFC South, quarterback change with the Browns. They're suddenly involved in a playoff race. And you see in the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons suddenly are a game outside of first. This game I have to say for last right here, because we don't know for sure if Baker Mayfield's going to play. But if Baker Mayfield doesn't play, then Cardinals may shake things up in that division. So I don't think the Rams will lose. If there's an upset game, I think it's Cam Ward at home. I don't think the Titans have won a home game yet with Cam Ward. In Jacksonville, they already blew a 29-point lead. So this game could set off the chase for the number 7 seed right there. Despite the fact that they held on against Arizona, this is a game right there that could define Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let me highlight that and keep that Tennessee for now. Get rid of this and get rid of this and, get rid of this right there. We don't care about these games. So Buffalo and Pittsburgh, this has wild card implications, especially if the Ravens win the division, a head-to-head tiebreaker. So ultimately, whoever loses this game, they're going to be in very, very big trouble. So the Bills could be out of the playoff picture if they lose at Pittsburgh. I just can't see Buffalo out of the playoffs. Quite frankly, the Bills are going to win. It's the Steelers, quite frankly, that are kind of, they have to beat Baltimore. They have to beat Baltimore. So these are not the final playoff positioning. For example, let's say if Green Bay wins, they can't be the number one seed. Well, how this works out is, they probably got to lose a game against Chicago. I think this game there against Chicago, it's got to wake them up. I mean, the Lions have had a good season, but is Dan Campbell's play calling going to hurt them? They beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is hurt, so ultimately, Lions could be screwed. They could be screwed. The NFL could have the Dallas Cowboys in as a number 7 seed. 49ers could lose against Seattle. Sam Darnold gets that win. That is what could push the Cowboys in the playoffs. And as I've envisioned before, the Packers could beat the Bears, but lose a game against the Bears. Probably going to lose the home game. And the Eagles have to continue to win. So based off of this, the week Green Bay beats the Bears, maybe Eagles shake things up in the playoff field respectfully. Maybe the Lions keep their hopes alive. Maybe they don't. Maybe Lions beat Chicago or something. Who knows if they beat Chicago, be the number 7 seed. I mean, I just think this matchup here, Cowboys-Eagles, the NFL would really, really like. I think Packers at 3 and Bears at number 6. I think this one, I think these two matchups right there, I think anybody can agree the NFL would like to have those matchups. A rematch, Baker Mayfield already beat Seattle. That's kind of what's going on there with Seattle. Is, a team of frauds who have beat nobody against Tampa Bay. Baker already destroyed Seattle. Baker Mayfield, another playoff game. Baker Mayfield, could do the business, or maybe Seahawks get destroyed on the road in a real cold weather environment in the divisional round. There's no doubt that the Ravens are in there. Kind of gotta get rid of some of these. Kind of just go off of projection a little bit here, quite frankly. Any combination of wins and losses impact this playoff picture. Bengals for another week. Bengals for another week. Probably. Let's just see where we at right there. Oh yeah, Browns beat the Titans, so they got to beat San Francisco. Obviously, this is gonna. It's gonna be big time. It's gonna be big time. It's what the NFL wants at the end of the day. Quite frankly, that's going to decide things. And you're looking at that Kansas City right there, obviously. Maybe Shedeur comes to life. They have the film on him, I think. But they'll still find a way to win, because that's what the NFL would certainly benefit from from a storyline perspective, I believe. So let's see how this could shake up. And division records below. It's garbage. Steelers keep on losing games, and this is what's ultimately going to afford the Ravens a margin of error. Ravens, Patriot, and even the Ravens lose against the Patriots, and they lose against the Packers. If Steelers can't beat Detroit, if they can't beat the Bills, then they're kind of hurting themselves right there. So yeah, they probably want this division tied. I imagine this is where we're gonna get to. We're gonna get to the next point made here in a second. The San Francisco's gonna be out of the playoffs very soon. By the way. Just getting through some of this rubbish over here. Just these garbage, meaningless games, and everything else, really. Who knows if Buffalo? This is the key playoff impacting game. If you're San Francisco, right there, this game right there. Maybe Chiefs are out of the playoffs on Christmas. I maybe gotta go Broncos over Chiefs on Christmas. Maybe they're truly out of the playoffs in Week 18, and they can rest everybody. And this is what we get. The Chargers have to, if the Broncos are locked up, well, they may have to play starters. Maybe the Chargers are safe. Maybe they're safe based off of the wins and losses. Maybe. So what do we have to fix? Packers already beat the Lions twice, so something else is going to happen here. I could see the Packers as a number one seed. I will not be surprised to see the Rams slip down. But this is where we are. Maybe Ben Johnson's gonna beat the Lions and show that they really are missing them. And if we have to fix Seattle here, and fix Jacksonville. Fix up some games. There's one missing game for Jacksonville too that have to highlight and finish. And Seattle. Looking at Seattle. They're out of the playoffs. Closer. Okay. Bears are due to lose one of these games. They will definitely beat San Francisco. They do win that game against the Packers. Chicago. Lions, Bucs. Can the Lions really run the table here? This has okay. This has to happen. This has to happen. We got to knock Seattle out of the playoffs. We have to knock them out of the playoffs. Knock the garbage Seahawks out of the playoffs. The Seahawks must collapse, or they're simply at number 5. Let's find a way to fuck over Detroit. Detroit's gonna get fucked. Knock them down a peg. Seahawks go up a peg to number 5. Okay. Rams lose on the road to keep that interesting. Eagles have to be number 2. So what am I missing here? No, okay. Who are the Packers going to lose to? Maybe they could lose to. Cowboys have to be 7. That's all. Let me close this. They're not going to be the number 1 seed. Let's be real. Seahawks are fun. We know they are a huge fun. You two stay. Matthew Stafford is born at Tampa. Keep that in mind. He's already played there, by the way. This is not working. Ravens win the must-win game right there.